It's a celebration of a momentous occasion, 200,000 subscribers here on Yellow Productions, and in today's live stream, I'm going to be sharing with you some behind-the-scenes look at Yellow Productions over the years, talk about a little bit about the creation story, and go through some of the milestones that led up to 200,000 subscribers. But first, I want to thank you all for tuning into this live stream. I want to thank you all for subscribing because, frankly, none of this would be possible without you and your support of this channel, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. And true fans will want to stay to the end because at the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing some videos that are definitely videos that have never been seen on YouTube, including a video of 7-year-old Christopher. That's right. So hang on if you want to say those. This one will probably be a little bit longer than a typical live stream because I've got a lot of great footage to share with you all and stories to tell with it. And so I just want to say thank you to everybody that was sharing congratulations in the live stream. Thank you very much. And so talking about the start of this channel, so I started Yellow Productions in 2008, and I did a live stream 2 days ago all about what I've learned in the past 12 years. So if you want some deep insight on my takeaways, you can check out that video. The link to it is in the description of this video. But I never thought, like when I started the channel, it was never really about like informative things. It was more about like entertainment and our kind of, family vlogs and those sorts of things. And so the first video that made it big on this channel that I was like, I made a video that really people wanted to watch is called The Cool Vending Machines in Tokyo, Japan. This video I uploaded in 2009 to YouTube, and it has had 400,000 views. It's a whopping 3 minutes long because 3 minutes was about the attention span in 2009, and so I want to share this video with you. We'll watch it for 3 minutes, then we'll talk about it, and then we'll go on to some other videos and milestones in the Yellow Productions journey. So watch this, and I'll be back with you in 3 minutes after the Cool Vending Machines of Tokyo, Japan.
Yellow Productions presents Japanese vending machines.
One of my favorite things about Japan are vending machines. Wherever you go in Japan, you're not more than a hop, skip, and a jump away from a vending machine. Here is a bank of 7 vending machines, and they all sell just about the same thing. Do we really need this many? And the answer is yes. You'll see.
When I say vending machines are everywhere in Japan, they're literally everywhere. They're on the side of streets in parking lots, vending machines are in front of restaurants, vending machines are on hillsides, vending machines come in singles, they come in doubles, and they come in multiples, like at this shrine where there are 12 vending machines. 12 vending machines? Yes, 12 vending machines. So what are in all these vending machines anyway? Well, the most basic type of vending machine is the one that you and I are pretty familiar with, the soda machine. But there's more than just Coke or Pepsi. For example, this vending machine has a very interesting collection of beverages, starting with beer, grapefruit, lemon soda, coffee, green tea, energy drinks, cranberry, there's Coke, oolong tea, peach juice, mixed juice, cocoa, and finally apple juice. This particular vending machine, in addition to having a variety of beverages, has the top row, hot drinks, and the bottom row, cold drinks. This vending machine doesn't use bottles, it uses cups. You can get your Pepsi in a cup with ice, or coffee or tea in a cup. And this machine is neither cups nor bottles nor cans, but juice boxes. Since there's so many vending machines in Japan, they have to figure out ways of attracting your attention. On some of them, the buttons will flash, some of them will let you watch TV, some of them will tell you the time, and some of them will offer you novel payment options, such as via cell phone or your subway card. Now, if you've had enough to drink from all those vending machines, you might want to do something else, like get your picture taken, or maybe buy a cigarette, or maybe buy some diapers, or maybe a manga cell phone charm, Or maybe at the Toyota dealership, you'd like to get a Toyota Camry catalog. Or maybe you don't want a car, but you want a mystery gift, 1,000 yen, and you'll get one of these items. Finally, the most interesting machine of all. This one with amazing variety. On the bottom, Calorie Mate energy pills. And then on the top, something I've never seen before, soup and curry in a can, in a vending machine. Where else but in Japan?
So the Big Italian Meatball says the tomato corn soup from those machines is the best. I have not had the tomato corn soup from there, but I will have to check that out in the future. Tori asked me, what's my craziest vending machine purchase? I think the most unique vending machine in Japan that I've bought something from was on our last trip to Fukushima, Japan, when we saw a sake vending machine in a train station that actually dispensed little glasses of sake, and you could see the big bottles of sake that it would dispense. So that was very interesting. And Amy says Japan has lots of weird vending machines. You would be surprised to see what you can find in them. As you can see a lot of things. So there are a lot of vending machines, and a few people that said I look forward to seeing those vending machines when I go to Japan. Now, a couple questions that I saw a couple people ask, including Jordan, why did I spell yellow with 2 W's? Well, I liked the sound of Yellow Productions Presents, and so that's kind of got 2 W's. When I went to register domain names, yellow with 1 W was taken, but yellow with 2 W's wasn't, and so that's where we got yellow with 2 W's. Turns out it was really a mistake, because when people would go on YouTube and type in yellow with 2 W's, YouTube would say, you've clearly typed that wrong, you must mean yellow with 1 W, right? And so over time I renamed the channel, rebranded the channel with a single W, so that's why you'll see 2 W's sometimes and 1 W sometimes. David wants to know if phones are available, cell phones. I haven't seen cell phones in vending machines. Actually, Japan's, for SIM cards, is actually pretty restrictive about SIM cards, that you have to, to get a telephone line, you have to, present ID. You can get a data card without doing that. It's actually kind of a weird thing on that cell phones. The Mason Experience asked, was that filmed in Tokyo? That was indeed filmed in Tokyo and in Yokohama. Garrett says, awesome timing. I just woke up in the middle of the night, needed something to do. Listen to you when you're on. I had surgery. It's now 3 a.m. Can these vending machines be toyed with like some machines? I don't know if you can toy with them, to get stuff for free or things like that. I think that one of the reasons why they have so many vending machines in Japan is people are just honest there and don't steal from them and don't break them. But Garrett, I hope you're recovering well, and thanks for joining the live stream. All right, so now the second video that I want to share with you on my journey of Yellow Productions to 200,000 subscribers. So you just saw the video that was my most successful video my first big successful video. Now we're going to watch my first video that I got flamed for the most. Actually, this video was pretty successful and went on to a few 100,000 views as well, but it's definitely one that I've received the most hate mail on. This video is titled Peter Luger, the Best Steak in New York. If you watch the live stream that I did with Here Be Bar a couple weeks ago, who lives in New York City, I asked him if he thinks Peter Luger is the best steak in New York, and there's a big debate about this, and that's what I titled the video, but I have an interesting conclusion at the end. This one's just a couple minutes long, and so let's watch this video and see whether Peter Luger is the best steak in New York.
Peter Luger has been rated by the Zagat Guide as one of the best steakhouses in New York, year after year after year. So what's all the fuss about? Let's find out. Peter Luger opens at 12:45 for lunch on a weekday. We arrived at 12:30 to find a long line of people already waiting to be seated. They won't seat you before 12:45. While waiting in the lobby, you get the distinctive vibe that this place is very old school. From the wood on the walls, to the lady who's taking reservations using paper and a pencil, to the sign that says they only honor their own credit cards. Cash only? Really? Really. The old school feel continues into the dining room, where there's wooden tables and wooden chairs. For a place that serves $100 steaks, I would have thought it might have been a little bit ritzier, but this just adds to the ambiance and charm. Complimentary on the table is a basket of bread and Peter Luger's very own steak sauce. We started off with the bacon appetizer, $2.95 a slice, and this was some incredibly thick bacon. This bacon and a baked potato probably would have been an entire meal in and of itself. But we weren't here for the bacon, we were here for the steak. Steak for two, which comes out pre-sliced already, and sizzling to your table. The steak for two, $86. Wow, that's an expensive steak. Now, was it worth $86? I'd say it was probably worth about $40. It was pretty tasty. We got it cooked medium, so nice and pink, nice and tender, but $86? That's a mighty expensive steak. Total damages on the bill? $105.
After all that steak, we couldn't finish it all and have to bring it home for maybe 3 or 4 other meals.
So next time you're in Brooklyn and you've got a bunch of cash burning a hole in your pocket, check out Peter Luger's for a tasty but expensive cash-only steak.
Yeah, and so after that video, people are like, Chris, you clearly don't know steak if you didn't appreciate the amazingness that is Peter Luger. But like cash only, pre-sliced, it honestly, it wasn't that great. The experience wasn't that great. When I spend that kind of money, and that was that kind of money, like $100 in 2009, 2010, that's probably twice the price now. It's a really expensive place. And Kathy agrees that is way too expensive. It'd be even more than that. So Big Italian Meatball says, obviously extremely controversial material because Peter Luger has like this huge loyal following of people. It's almost like a cult following, I feel, for the steakhouse. And so that, in fact, is why I got flamed on that video. Master Bates wants to know, good name, by the way, wants to know why yellow, not another color. Well, yellow is because my car was yellow. If you have not seen my video on road trip tips, well, then in that one you can see my yellow car. And so I had a yellow car, and because I had a yellow car, people would call me as a nickname, hey, yellow, because I drove a yellow car. It's really easy to find in a parking lot. I loved it, so that's why yellow, essentially my favorite color. The yellow t-shirts came later on. And Dry Cell doesn't like it pre-sliced. Carmen would expect a steak that has a nice experience for that price. I would too. And yes, I really felt validated by that New York Times article, Jordan. The New York Times did just give Peter Luger, actually, I think they gave Peter Luger like a 0-star review. I think that's what they said they would have given it, except they didn't have 0 stars. But yeah, it was a pretty low rating. All right, so now up until 2016, all the videos I published to YouTube were recorded videos, edited videos. Obviously today you're watching a live stream. When was the first Yellow Productions live stream? The first Yellow Productions live stream was December 18th, 2016, and that was a momentous occasion because I think I put out a live stream and almost nobody was watching. You know, it's really hard to live stream when nobody's on the other end of this. I shouldn't say nobody was watching. I'm pretty sure OC Girl, my wife, was watching, and I'm pretty sure my mom was watching. So I had at least 2 people watching my first live stream. Probably my dad, too. So I think we had 3. And so, by the way, shout out to OC Girl. She doesn't have a lot of on-camera time. She's got a lot of behind-the-camera time. We will probably see her in a cameos of some of the videos, perhaps today. Perhaps. Perhaps not. I don't know. But she is in a number of videos, and true Yellow Productions fans will have seen her a number of times. You just have to know where to look. Particularly in hotel reviews and mirrors is where she often shows up. All right, so let's take a look at this live stream in 2016. Just 25 seconds to take a look at what the first live stream looked like. It looked a little different than what the live streams look like today. All right. Greetings, Internet. I would like to welcome you all to the first official live broadcast of Yellow Productions. I would like to introduce my co-host for this event. His name is Pingy. He is our adorable, very large penguin. And you don't usually see Pingy when we go on travel because he's just so big and he doesn't really fit in a suitcase. But since we've got him here at home and he is celebrating the festive Christmas spirit. It was Christmas time, so that was our Christmas tree. When I first started live streaming, I would just live stream from an iPad. iPad, then I upgraded to an iPad Pro. Then at some point, probably in 2018, when I really went all in on live streaming and said I'm really going to try to live stream once a week or at least twice a month, then I started building this dedicated setup, building a more interesting background, building a second background down in my live stream studio where people say, Chris, where's the fireplace? That's my other room to make these live streams more interesting for you. Drinky Drink says Pingy is no Topher. He's much bigger than Topher for sure, and so that's why he never travels with it. We have a lot of stuffed animals, which our little explorer is definitely going to appreciate, though we don't let her touch a lot of them yet because it's like she drools and chews on everything. Henry points out the clock in the background. There was a cuckoo clock in the background that in fact we got from Germany on one of our trips. We had to hand carry that. And Kathy says, wow, that was different. You know, everybody has got to start someplace, and so that is where the live streams started. All right, the fourth big milestone that I want to share with all of you is when did I cross 100,000 subscribers? So obviously you see that in the live stream. That's the 100,000 subscriber plaque that YouTube sends when you cross 100,000 subscribers. That was February of 2019 is when we crossed 100,000 subscribers and got the Yellow Productions plaque. So if you do the time math, we started in 2008. 2019, 11 years later, we got to 100,000 subscribers, and then February 2019 to September 2020. Oh, this is like math in public. 9 to 18 months, a year and a half later, doubled the number of subscribers. So it's awesome that so many of you have found Yellow Productions, tune in, watch the videos. And so let's take a look at about 30 seconds of the 100,000 subscriber plaque unboxing celebration video. So here it is, and it's interesting because it has a mirror on it, so you can actually see what I'm seeing on the screen behind my camera. Let's see, where's the camera right there? There's the camera right there. All right, and it says, presented to Yellow Productions for passing 100,000 subscribers YouTube. It's a pretty hefty thing. It's got a felt on the back, and so that's pretty neat. This is going to go up on the wall where I usually do my live streams. You'll notice I'm in a slightly different room today, but that's because of this special guest that we have right here. So that's the... And so that special room, by the way, that's where I do my editing, and that shot that you saw is the opposite of the shot that you typically see. You typically see me with my computers and stuff behind me. That looks in the other direction over there where we had our kitchen. Ducky says, I need to celebrate with a drink. I do need to celebrate with a drink. A lot of you have been asking, what am I drinking today? Today, I am drinking some fabulous iced tea from Gaglione Brothers' famous steaks and subs. This is a cheesesteak restaurant in San Diego, California. And if you're in San Diego and you like cheesesteaks, then you should definitely check out Gaglione Brothers. They fly in the rolls from Philadelphia on a regular basis. So they're those Philadelphia rolls for the cheesesteaks, and they're really good. I think they're some of the best cheesesteaks outside of Philadelphia. Laura says, I love the soft blue lighting. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. The soft blue lighting was an idea I got after going to the not North American, I always say this, the National, no, just the North American Broadcasters, National Association of Broadcasters, NAB show. It's this big video show that's in Las Vegas, and I always say the acronym wrong, and there's always somebody on the live stream that says, Chris, what the acronym really means is, anyway, it's like the biggest video shooting, editing, camera convention in the world, held annually in Las Vegas, and B&H Photo, which is a big like camera store website that's based out of New York. They had a huge booth at NAB, and I was walking around looking at all the stuff, and there was a company that had these neat color changing LED lights, and I was like, I think those would be pretty cool to just kind of like wash the wall, put a bit of color, put a bit of contrast up there. So Drew says that I must have the heat and humidity cranking very sweaty. It's probably because this light's really bright today, but it is actually quite hot today. It's about 80 degrees Fahrenheit in this room right now, so it is pretty warm. Drinky Drink says we need a house tour. Well, coming up, we are going to have a tour of one of my old apartments. Not a tour of our current house, but a previous one. Windy City says, between the room with the computers in the background and the room with the mood lighting, which one do you like better in terms of streaming? It depends. They've got different setups. I've got different things around. Like, I like the background that's in here, but obviously if I'm in front of my computers and in that room, I've got more things around me, so it's easier to see a whole bunch of screens and stuffs and computers. Drinky Drink says, Chris, do you ever drink water? All these yummy drinks. I hope you're staying hydrated. I do drink water for sure, Drinky Drink, but my favorite drink is probably just plain old iced tea. All right. The next thing that I want to share with you, the 5th milestone in Yellow Productions history, is when did we go from being people who uploaded videos to YouTube to being YouTubers? And that happened when we went to Korea on a YouTuber trip in May of 2019. It was the first time I did daily vlogs, and so I want to share with you a little bit of a promo video that actually Korea Tourism put together about this trip. In this video, you'll see some other popular YouTubers, including Davidsbeenhere and Samuel from the Sam and Audrey channel. We'll watch about a minute of this one. If you missed my Korea trip from 2019, I got a whole 10, 15 videos from that trip. You just search for Korea Yellow Productions afterwards if you want to watch more on that.
Temple Steak, Korean barbecue. I love Korean barbecue. So we'll see you then.
We're doing mukbang now. They've got some really spicy noodles that we're going to give a try. I think this is a spicy eating contest.
Smells good? Yeah.
You want one?
I'll have some, yeah, man.
I know I can smell it.
I
I did this to Jiggy Park.
Don't eat it yet, don't eat it yet. We're gonna eat it together.
Super spicy.
I don't want to get too much, so just a little on that plate.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
불닭볶음면.
Budak Bokumyang.
불닭볶음면.
Budak Bokumyang.
Go for it.
We're eating spicy noodles right now. The boys are smashing it. All the boys.
No water for
There's
you.
an earlier part of this though. I'll show you
No water for you.
yellow, but they have blue. Which one do you like? All blue. Blue. Wrong button. That was number 5. Ooh, or a little blue. You get 3 things: the inside shirt, the outside jacket, and then of course the pants to go underneath. We'll see how they all look together. And voila, that's what it looks like all together. You even get the cool hat. I love it. All right, and here we are outside. This is what I look like outside. You want to see what it looks like on someone else? Jordan, come over here. This is Jordan from Australia. Pretty sharp, isn't it? And here we've got some other YouTubers. Look at all these handsome and beautiful looking people. Okay, we've arrived at our final dinner. This is So Jim S. asks, do you like Korea or Japan better? I'm going to answer this way and say that we have more videos on Japan. We have over 100 videos on Japan. We go to Japan almost every other year. We've been to Korea 3 or 4 times. They're both fun places to visit, but we generally go to Japan more. Jake McShane asks if I've ever uploaded a video that you were embarrassed about later. I don't think so. I don't think I have any regrets about videos. I mean, I can certainly look back on some of my videos from 2008, 2009 and just go, oh my gosh, those videos were awful. like from now perspective, but from then I was like, that was the best video that I could make at the time. So I'm proud of everything at the time I tried to make it. Fiorella wants to know if I had a celebratory dinner for the occasion. Does a cheesesteak count as celebratory? Big Italian Meatballs asks if I typically can I typically handle spicy food. Do I like it? I would say I can typically handle spicy. Being born and raised in San Diego, California, I have grown up on pretty spicy Mexican food, though depending on the spice, like Chinese Sichuan spice is like death. Kimchi, I could not eat Korean kimchi for the longest time. I have acquired a taste for kimchi now, and actually I often feel they don't give me enough kimchi in the first round, and I have to ask for more of it, so I think I've built up that spicy threshold over the years. Fob Deep says, are you okay with people saying hi in public? I'm sure your shirts and height stand out. I definitely stand out in public when I'm wearing a yellow shirt, holding a camera. And actually, I love when people come and say hi in public. So if you ever see me in the world, absolutely come and say hi. And in this video, later on, as one of the milestones, I'll be sharing one of the first times somebody spotted me in the wild, and also then the first time I took one of those people who spotted me in the wild and made them a guest on one of the videos. Saiducky asks, what's my favorite Korean food? My favorite Korean food is kalbi, like Korean barbecue kalbi, which is like a Korean short rib. It's a marinated Korean short rib, and I believe that it's actually better in Los Angeles than it is in Korea, just because I believe the American beef is tastier than the Korean beef. Let's see. Duncan Dan says, my wife eats Samyang 2X spicy noodles. I have no idea what Samyang 2X spicy noodles are, but I will say OC Girl eats things 3 times spicier than I do. And Fiorella, you have not yet missed the Dance Dance Revolution videos. I don't think you've missed them. I think they're coming up. Have I got them in here? Yeah, I've got them in this list, so hang on. All right. Now, the next video that I want to share with you is one of my favorite videos of all time. People ask me, like, Chris, what are your favorite videos? One of my favorite videos of all time that didn't do very well. It just didn't get a lot of views, because I don't think a lot of people look for this or don't think it's interesting, but I think it's really interesting, is a video that I shot in 2014 titled Feeding the Deer in Nara, Japan. This is, in fact, the first time I was recognized internationally, and I will talk about that recognition after we watch the video. But I guess, you know, you talk about I stand out a lot when I'm wearing a yellow shirt. OC Girl and I probably stood out a lot making this video because we both were wearing kimonos when we were shooting this video. This video is about 4 minutes long, so let's watch some awesome deer, and I'll be back to chat with you about it afterwards.
Yellow Productions presents
Feeding the Deer in Nara, Japan. Nara was one of Japan's original capitals in the year 700, and there's a lot of great culture here. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about feeding the 1,200 wild deer that live in Nara. In the Shinto religion, they're believed to have descended from God, and so the deer here are actually treated better than people. So if you want to feed the deer, you have to buy the deer crackers. They call them senbei. They come in packages like this for 150 yen each. A pretty cheap deal for an entertaining time feeding some deer. If you come to Nara to feed the deer, I suggest bringing a senbei bag or something to put your biscuits in, because the deer are pretty smart, and if they see you have a handful, they'll follow you around and you'll never get away. So if you want to be creative in who you feed, take your senbei out of your bag, pick the deer you would like to feed right here. You see he'll come right up to you and eat the biscuit right out of your hand. This is truly amazing. Never have I seen a place where you could feed deer from your hand. Usually deers run away, but these two don't. I'm going to call this one Albert,
And this one, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Albert. Bye-bye. So, as I said, the deer will follow you because they think you'll feed them more. They think there's more senbei in the bag, which they're probably right. And then they'll start to nibble on you. So the question is, do you give them more senbei or not? Probably not, because then I don't know that I'll get out of here alive. You're not Albert, you're a different one. Hello, are we going for a walk? Where are we walking to? Would you like to go to the store? You're not going to let me go very easily, are you? I think I have a new friend. I think he's so persistent that he probably deserves another senbei. So, you know what? You are smart. You're smart because you know if you follow someone around for long enough, they will feed you more biscuits. Thank you. Look at that. He knows he's done.
Because these deer are so smart, they've learned to congregate next to the deer cracker stands. Right here on the right is a deer cracker stand. Someone's getting ready to buy the crackers. The deers know that feeding time is on. Just follow the person that left the stand, and it's time for a tasty dinner. If you do find yourself in this situation, just keep walking. The deers will follow you, and it won't get too crazy. However, if you find yourself cornered by the deers, well, then it might get a little crazier. Then you need to be fast. Feed, feed, feed. Otherwise, the deer are going to be biting you, your clothes, and everything around you. Now, once you've fed all the deers, you can be like this girl. Put your hands up and show them, no more cookies. This guy, on the other hand, was not quite so successful in his feeding attempt. The deers basically came up and took the entire stack of crackers out of his hand. That's a quick way for them to eat.
For the best feeding action, try to get away from the crowds. Areas like this, the deers are more hungry. Maybe not that one, though. So Topher, some of those deers, they didn't like the cookies. Do you like them better?
The other good thing about getting away from the crowds is that the deers in the more remote areas of the park are typically less aggressive. I found the deer feeding in these areas to be more enjoyable. Okay, so that video has 2 more minutes if you want to check it out, feeding the deer in Nara, Japan. But in 2 days ago's video, when I talked about things I've learned on YouTube over the past 12 years, was not to get crushed when a video that you think is really good doesn't do all that well. And that was one of those videos that I was like, this is an awesome video, this is amazing. I don't know, maybe my thumbnail wasn't great, maybe my title wasn't great, I don't know. It just didn't go on to get the fame and notoriety that at least I would have thought a fun video of like that would actually have gone on to make. But in the chat, lots of you said you love that one, so the true fans, I do appreciate it. Kay Clark asks, what drew us to Japan? I'd like to visit there someday. In my case, OC Girl drew me to Japan. It was one of the first big trips we took together in 2004 was the first time I went to Japan. She had went in college. She went to foreign exchange school in Japan. She spent 6 months in Sendai, Japan, and so I think that was one of those, after spending 6 months living there, it's just one of those places she always has an affinity for. And after I went the first time, every time I go, I want to go back. I want to see more. I want to explore more of the country. It's such an easy place to travel. It's such a safe place to travel. And there's so many things to see that I feel like I'll probably never see everything in Japan. But we will keep going back. We're already thinking, when can we take our little explorer to Japan? Scottman895 Travel has to get going because he has to work because he's over on the east coast of the U.S. But thanks for tuning in, Scottman895 Travel. I appreciate it. Jake McShane says, I was inspired to go to Nara after I saw your deer video. The deer were indeed very aggressive. Well, Jake, that's great to hear that you went there after seeing the video. Awesome. And of course, for people who don't know, Jake's icon right there, this is a Billiken. It's a Japanese statue that's really popular in this district that's in Osaka, Japan. No Filter Nintendo Podcast says, how did you decide on your cadence? You have an interesting way of talking and presenting info. I don't know that anybody really ever decides on a cadence. This is just my cadence. I think one of the things that at least I try to think of is that when I listen to people, for me to absorb information, people need to talk slow enough so that I can actually understand what they're saying, so I have time to process it. And so that's probably why I've developed my cadence, so that I can pause and so that you can absorb what I said. You know, maybe it's because I went to the Captain James T. Kirk William Shatner dramatic school of pause acting. Drinky Drinky asks if I will please make a video on travel tips with baby when she is older. For sure, when we go on our first adventures with her, we will make those videos. Alberto wants to know if I've ever taken a trip to Canada. I have been to the east coast of Canada, and OC Girl's been to Vancouver, though we've not made any videos on those trips because they were short trips. All right, and Hornby says, congratulations, Chris. Topher must feel proud. Topher is very proud, probably being the most watched stuffed panda on YouTube. W Shake says, yes, good vocal tech. I assume that means technique. Thank you, W Shakes. You know, somebody recently commented on my last live stream and said, Chris, I've noticed that the audio from your outside videos is better than the audio from your in the house videos. And to that remark, I say, on live stream, sometimes I try to do different things and try different things with the microphone, different things with the amplifier, really trying to dial in a good sound. 2 days ago, I had an amplifier in there that just made it way too loud and blew out the levels, so that's why 2 days ago wasn't perfect. But also, audio is actually hard on live streams because I can't edit it, and I have this so that I can listen to myself to try to tell whether I'm blowing out the levels and trying to keep it loud enough so that it's loud. When I edit the videos, then it's a lot easier to smooth out the volume and make it all the same, and so that's why those often sound a bit better, because I've actually had time to edit and process the audio. Now, speaking of animals, I was going to tell you in the Nara video about our first time getting spotted internationally. So we were shooting that video. We were in front of the area where the girl got attacked by the deer, and somebody comes up to us and he says, "Oh, Chris, it's me. It's Joey. It's Joey from the Philippines. I've watched all your videos. I love your videos. I took a trip to Singapore and I saw all your Singapore videos. They were really helpful. Thank you very much." And OC Girl and I were really quite impressed that Joey from the Philippines recognized the two of us not wearing yellow but wearing kimonos in Nara and came up to say hi. And honestly, it's those sorts of things that mean the world to us, because to say the world is a small place and that these videos really help people with their travels. So Amy comments about the audio saying, I like the inside audio better, to me is clearer. Well, thank you for that, Amy. I think that different people have different ears, so maybe some people like the outside audio better. The inside audio is harder, and one of the reasons why is rooms echo, and then two is also it's quieter inside, and so you hear inside, if the audio is not good, you'll hear a lot more vocal imperfections that you wouldn't hear outside, because outside there's wind and noise and buses and all those sorts of things. And W Shake says, in my voice, I hear possibly Rick Steves' vocal influences. Rick Steve is definitely one of my influences. I didn't take any voice coaching or training from him, but for sure, I do like Rick Steves' information that he provides. All right, so another animal video that I want to share with you. There's another milestone of another video that I really like, another destination we really like. A lot of Japan destinations in here, because Japan's some of our funnest content, I feel like. And 2 years later, after feeding the deer in Nara, Japan, we went to Nagano, Japan. Nagano, I always mispronounce this city, but it's where the Winter Olympics was, and there's a snow monkey park in in the mountains outside of Nagano. And you got to like hike up for like 45 minutes to this Snow Monkey Park. There's another video that only went on to get 5,500 views, but I want to share this video with you because I like it, and hopefully you'll like it too.
Yellow Productions presents
the Jigokudani Snow Monkey Park. And those back there, those are snow monkeys. They're Japanese macaques. They're endangered, and this park was set up so that people can come and see them. It's about an hour train ride outside of Nagano, and then a bus from there, another either 10 minutes or a 40-minute express bus to get here. It's a little bit out of the way, but it's really cool because there aren't many places where you can get this close to these really cool monkeys. And those monkeys are really cute. And it's the best to come when it's snowing, because they're called snow monkeys. It's a perfect day today, and it snows here a lot. This is the month of April, and it's snowing. To get to the Snow Monkey Park, there are two main ways to get there from Nagano Station. You can either take an express bus, or you can take the Snow Monkey Express train to a local bus. But whichever way you go, you can get the Snow Monkey one-day pass. It includes round-trip transportation and admission to the Snow Monkey Park for 2,900 yen, which is a lot cheaper than if you bought it separately. They have different timetables for each one. Depending upon which time you go, it might be better to take the train or take the bus. The train runs earlier. The buses in the low season, which is not the snowy time, only run 3 times a day. If you're looking for something to snack on while you go on the train, good news, they've got tons of local produce in the train station. Pick up some Nagano apples. They're cheap and delicious. This is the specialty of the region. If you're taking the train, the way you'll know it's the right train is because it has a big snow monkey on it. There's 2 tracks down here, the local track and the express. The express is the one with my new friend here. Once you get off the train, turn right and get on a bus that looks kind of like this. It'll take you to the Snow Monkey Park stop. So after you get off the bus, either the local one or the express bus, you'll end up at this bus stop. There's a sign that says walk up to the Snow Monkey Park that way. If you need to use the restroom, then it's in the Roman Art Museum in the big concrete building back there. After you walk up the hill for about 5 minutes, you'll get to this sign that says Snow Monkey Park to the right, 1.8 kilometers. Guess what? Turn right here. Go this way. If you didn't use the restroom at the Roman Museum, use it when you get to the parking lot, because this is the last restroom before the Snow Monkey Park. Just past the restrooms at the parking lot is the Enza Cafe serving ramen. Really good to warm you up if it's snowing and cold. And then just up the hill past that is the Snow Monkey official information and gift shop. And just beside the gift shop, that's where the hike begins. If you didn't bring proper hiking attire, you can buy them at the gift shop, or if you didn't bring proper shoes, you can actually rent boots for 500 yen. Now that is a very enterprising business. The path itself is definitely a bit of a hike. It's not paved. As you can see, it's a dirt path. On days when it's snowing or raining or the snow is melting, it can be a little bit muddy, so proper footwear is advised. All right, I'll see you at the monkeys. As I was walking, I just realized that Topher is not wearing proper footwear, which means he's gonna have to stay in my bag. In his bag, which is then inside my bag. Okay, he's clean in there. The path is nicely signed to let you know how much further is left to go on the walk. From here, there's just 0.9 kilometers before we can see those cute monkeys. We are quite close to the monkey park now. There's a very strong stream next to it, and the smell of sulfur is getting much stronger. It's really neat to walk along the stream. It sounds kind of like the Mississippi. And after about 45 minutes, you'll get here, the entrance to the Snow Monkey Park. Just 500 yen gets you in. The funny thing is that we actually saw some snow monkeys on some of the houses over there and didn't have to pay a penny. After you pay your admission fee, or if you had the one-day Snow Monkey Pass, show it to them, you'll head further down this trail. There is a little warming room on the right, and a couple of toilets that are actually here, but after you pay. Inside the warming room, there's a heater in the middle with some benches around so you can warm up. And there's also the little gift shop where you can buy some souvenirs to take home with you. After about a 5-minute walk after the ticket booth and crossing that bridge in the back, you will make it to the Monkey Park's main attraction, the hot spring. And they congregate around this man-made pool because the park rangers feed them. You can come in and you can be up close and personal with the monkeys. You can also see the snow monkeys live on the Snow Monkey live cam. Jigokudani Yankoen.co.jp. It points right at the hot spring where the monkeys like to collect. The monkeys roam around everywhere, not just in the hot spring. They're up on the hill up there. They're up on the hill up there. They're in the stream down there. Occasionally you'll just be standing around and all of a sudden there's monkeys running in front of you. While you're in the monkey park, there are some rules you have to follow. Don't touch or startle the monkeys. Keep a safe distance while photographing or shooting video.
So there's about 2 more minutes of those monkeys. But I saw in the comments somebody said they went to a monkey park in Bali, and part of the rules there was to keep your stuff really close. Well, at the Nagano Snow Monkey Park, they tell you that as well. And in the warming hut, there was actually a picture of the monkey that had taken somebody's iPhone. So like that happens all the time. So it is really important to keep your stuff really close to you. And K. Clark and some others also found it funny that Topher has his own camera, has his own bag. We do that to keep Topher clean, because if he's in my bag and I got cameras on top of it and things like that, then Topher gets dirty. So that's why we have the same thing. Carmen, do you have? It's a Pack Safe bag. It's like the Pack Safe, Metro Safe. I don't know, LS250. I have a review of the bag. But I love that bag. Alberta asked what camera I use for filming. It's a Sony 4K camcorder. If you want to know the exact model number, I have a link in the description of this video. If you just expand the video description, scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll find the exact model there. And the Snow Monkey video was filmed in 2016 is when we took that trip. So also, funny side story of shooting that video, we did not expect it to be quite that cold. It's like out in the mountains outside of Nagano. In the city center, it was like 7 degrees Celsius, but when we got to the top of the mountain, as you could see, it was snowing. It was like -3, and so I had a beanie and some ear coverings, but OC Girl didn't, and so we were actually sharing one beanie the whole time we were doing the hike. I'd wear it for a little bit, then she'd wear it for a little bit to make sure that both of our ears were warm. So we really enjoyed that warming hut at the top of the mountain. Christina wants to know, what was the most fun video to make? I enjoy all the videos that we make. Most fun. I don't know. I have to think about that probably for a little bit. Certainly the Fukushima series that we recently did was a lot of fun. And if you watch the video, actually, so one story I'll tell in particular is when we were in Fukushima, Japan, we went to this town in the mountains that was really cold, and there was this noodle place that served negi soba, these buckwheat noodles that you eat with a leek, like a big leek. You don't eat them with chopsticks, you eat them with a leek. And this noodle place is owned by this old couple, and the wife was there, and she's the sweetest elderly lady ever. She doesn't speak like any English. We had a translator with us, and this lady just, she loved me for some reason, but she was always amazed that I was wearing short sleeves and kept commenting about, like, isn't he cold? He has short sleeves on, because it was -7 degrees outside when we were filming this. And the translator that we were with kept trying to tell her, like, well, no, it's for his channel. See, he wears yellow. That's why he just needs to, wear the shirt instead of all of his jackets. But it was a lot of fun. Freddie wants to know, what's my favorite restaurant of all time? In-N-Out Burger is, like, if I had to pick like a fast food place of all time. If I pick a sit-down restaurant, it would be Din Tai Fung, that specializes in soup dumplings. And I also really love steak. If I have to pick a steakhouse, it's a little bit of a chain steakhouse, but it's called Mastro's, M-A-S-T-R-O-S, or maybe Mastro's Steakhouse. They, if you're in Las Vegas, they have a location in Crystals, which is in front of the Aria. They have really good steaks. Yeah, Alex says, In-N-Out Burger is obviously my favorite for sure. And if people say, like, Chris, what do you want to eat someplace? I say, look, I'm always happy if I have hamburger, pizza, or Mexican. And I realize that hamburger and pizza are kind of specific foods, and Mexican is like an entire group, but I've really not had any... I've not had any Mexican food I really don't like, unless it's just bad. Like, but not because, you know, I didn't like the dish. Carmen says -7 Celsius or Fahrenheit. It was -7 Celsius. It was really quite freezing. David says I should wear my yellow shirt over long sleeve clothes. That's funny. That'd be funny. Actually, for that trip to Fukushima, I got big yellow jackets and yellow pants, like winter yellow clothes. So I had yellow on the outside, but also wearing big bulky jackets inside with microphones doesn't work all that well, because then you constantly, you hear it rustling, all that, and that is no good. All right. Let's go to the next one. So I talked about guests and guest appearances. So this 8th milestone that I want to share with you, and you might be wondering, Chris, how many milestones do you have for us? I have 14 milestones for you. So if you want to know where you are in this journey, we are at number 8 of 14 milestones to share. So we're a little more than halfway through. So Nara, Japan was where we had the first person spot us out in public. Singapore is the first good guest appearance that I had on a video. And this guest appearance was sort of interesting how this worked out. I was walking around this hawker center, and I'm going to say a 13-year-old girl came up to me. I don't know her exact age, but she came up to me and said, "Hey, can I get a selfie with you?" That was like, and I'm, okay, sure, sounds good. So she takes a selfie, and then she goes off. And then she comes back a minute later, and she comes back with her dad. And I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble, you know. But he's got his other daughter, and he's like, his other kid, and he says, my other daughter didn't get a picture with you. Can we get a picture all together? And that was super awesome. And then I said to them, "Hey, what brings you here? Where are you from?" And they're an Australian family. And I said, like, "Hey, while you're eating the hawker food, would you like to talk a little bit about it in this video that I'm doing on the best hawker centers in Singapore?" So that's what you're going to see right now. It's the beginning, the first 4 minutes of my 9 best hawker centers video in Singapore. This video went on, probably do about 1 million views at least. This was a really popular video. And a lot of people in Singapore watched it. A lot of people who visit Singapore watched it. And it was this great cameo appearance. And then I have an interesting tidbit about that girl who came up for taking the picture that I'll share with you after we watch the video.
Yellow Productions presents
a guide to the best hawker centers in Singapore. I'm Chris, this is my channel Yellow Productions, my series on Singapore, and in this video I'll be telling you where some of the best hawker centers are in Singapore. Singapore has over 100 hawker centers, over 6,000 stalls, and if you're coming as a tourist, there's no way you can eat at all of them, so I'll tell you some of the best ones to visit. The first one, and the one I'm at right here, is the Lau Pa Sat Festival Market. This market is in the Central Business District. It is in this building right here that's about 150 years old. It's been operated as a hawker center since about 1976. And the reason why I'm here and why I say this is the best one, 1, the location, 2, the neat old roof Victorian building, but 3, the reason you should come here, not to eat at the Singaporean food inside, but for what they do outside. Back here is Satay Street, and just outside are about 10 satay vendors that are cooking up grilled meats on a stick. One of my favorite things to eat in Singapore is satay, and this is really one of the best places to get satay. They offer table service, you can get it outside. Enjoy. For the best satay here, visit stalls 7 and 8. They've actually got the signs that say best satay. That's usually a reason for me not to eat at a place, but in this case, for $26, you can get their small satay set, and it comes with, right here, you get 10 lamb beef, and you get 10 chicken. Comes with some cucumbers and some onions. You get these dipping sauces to dip the satay in. And one of their specialties here seems to be these prawn satay. These are very large shrimp. I would tell you how these are, except I'm going to wait till I eat them, because as soon as I touch these, I have to use my hands. Then I can't touch my camera anymore. But the chicken right here, dip it in the little sauce. It's tender, it's juicy, it's hot. It's pretty good meat on a stick, I have to say. The sauce is a combination of peanutty plus spicy. A really great compliment to the chicken. The beef one, they give you 2 sauces, sharing for 2 people, or one if you want to dip your beef in, another you want to dip your chicken in. Lamb beef. Tender. Not too overcooked. Great with the sauce. They give you a little box of napkins, which is nice. You can wipe yourself because you're going to need it with these things. And to drink, I always like to get lime juice. If you've seen my videos before, then actually there was a group of Australian fans I took a few selfies with. They said whenever they see lime juice, they use the line from one of my previous videos, which is, lime juice makes you pucker. So let's see how they like the food here.
We're just at La Passat, enjoying the satay here tonight. And it's beautiful, prawns are beautiful, chicken's beautiful, eat on the street in Singapore. Can't go wrong, it's fantastic. So come and enjoy some, nice and cheap, and good food, excellent food. What do you think?
It's amazing.
You like it?
It's incredible. The food here is insane and the atmosphere is great.
It's just good. It's fantastic.
And it's good to see a YouTube sensation.
Thanks, guys. It was great seeing you too, and thanks for being in the video.
And so the fun story is that the girl who said the food's amazing, the first one that responded in there, she reached out to me about 6 months ago and said, "Hey, Chris, I just want to let you know that actually, you know, based on travels and some of your videos, it inspired me to become a travel agent." And so I thought that was super fantastic. And one of her first posts on Instagram as a travel agent was to post that memory as like one of her best trips that she's been on. So I thought that was super fantastic. And if you're watching this, thanks for being one of the first guests in a Yellow Productions video. And Drinky Drink says, this family is great. For sure, they were great. And Big Italian Meatballs says, today on this live stream, there's over 200 watching. It's a huge difference from your first live stream. You're right that my wife, mom, and dad were the 3 people watching that one. Okay. So, now, I heard a lot of people say they like my Taiwan videos. They want to see more Taiwan videos. We're hoping to take our little explorer there as one of the first adventures that she goes on. So assuming we do that, then we'll update our Taiwan series. In addition to my Singapore series, my Taiwan series was also one of my most popular series. You know, not as big of a destination as Las Vegas is. Las Vegas is for sure my #1 series, but Taiwan was one of my early series that did well. The videos, they're, you know, 6 or 8 years old, and so they are worth a refresh. But this one about the best night markets in Taipei, Taiwan, will give you a good perspective of night markets in Taipei. And let's watch this for about 2 minutes, and then we'll talk a little bit more about night markets.
Yellow Productions presents
the best night markets in and around Taipei, Taiwan. I'm Chris. And in this video, we're going to be showing you some of the best night markets to eat out at in and around Taipei.
In this video, we'll visit the following night markets. Best overall for food and just food, Ningxia Night Market. Best for seafood, Keelung Night Market. Best because it's the biggest, Shilin Night Market. Best for snake, Huaxi Street Night Market. Best variety, Raohe Night Market. We'll begin with the Keelung Night Market.
The Keelung Night Market, while not directly in Taipei, it's just a short train ride from Taipei, and it's one of the best across Taiwan, particularly known for its seafood. They've also done quite a bit with the signage here, and there's English signs on every stall, so if you don't speak Chinese, you know at least a little bit what you're getting. To get to the Keelung Night Market from Taipei Main Station, take a TRA train to the Keelung train station. The Keelung Night Market is a fairly sprawling market, but try to find the temple. The temple is the center of the market, and some of the best stalls are around the temple. Something you'll see in a lot of stands here is the Ding Bian Kuo. It's a noodle soup that has these really big noodles, shrimp, and some pork in it. It's a very mild broth, Quite tasty. Another popular item here is tempura. Well, not Japanese tempura, but here it's actually fish cake with some sauce on it, served in a little bowl with a dainty little fork. Kind of sweet, kind of savory, kind of chewy, not too fishy. Only 35 new Taiwan dollars, so pretty reasonable.
Next up, Shilin Night Market.
The best market because it's the biggest.
So there's a couple more minutes left of that video if you want to go check it out. The best night markets in Taipei, Taiwan. That was filmed in 2014. That video is 5 minutes exactly in length. Why? Because, again, back in the day in 2014, people did not have very long attention spans in YouTube, and so I would spend a lot of time cutting stuff out to make things like 5 minutes or less. And then there was this thing about like, 10 minutes is kind of the new thing. And some of my best videos, like my New York City travel guides, my Singapore Hawker Center guides, are the ones that are like almost upwards of 20 minutes. And even some of my live streams that are right an hour, hour and a half, right? Different content than, you know, for the people that only have the attention span for cats falling off televisions. Drinky says, I'd love to see Taiwan videos on renting a car, national parks, go visit the South. Not many people go versus Taipei. You're right. I'll consider those. And going to the South, we did enjoy a visit to Kunting, and actually one of our favorite night markets is down there in Kunting, which is in the south of Taiwan. Fob Deep says, my 2-year-old's loving this. She's hungry. Now great. Awesome, Fob Deep. Travis says, is Taipei the same today? I mean, Taipei's a big city, and every big city changes, but the night markets are pretty similar. So about night markets, Taipei is a really hot and humid place, and so these street markets basically come out at nighttime. Like when it starts to get sunset, all these people like roll their carts out there and make this market on the street. The popular ones in Taipei are generally like pedestrian only, but the ones in other places of Taiwan, like cars drive on them and scooters drive on them. But it's just kind of a great way to like a mobile buffet or something like that, where you just kind of walk around and get your dinner through a whole bunch of different stalls. Travis asked if I can show my very first video. Travis, I did that in the live stream 2 days ago when I talked about things I've learned over the past 12 years. The video from Norway was our first video, but in a few videos, I will be showing one of the first times I was on camera doing a show when I was 7 years old. So stay tuned for that one. Okay, now many people have asked me to do a home tour, and you know, there's a little place of privacy that we like to keep a little bit private, and some parts of our home might be that, so we're probably likely not going to do a full home tour in the home that we live in today, but I did do a full home tour in an apartment that I spent some time in Arlington, Virginia. We're taking the Wayback Machine to 2009. This video's had an epic 625 views, and some people sometimes go look at my old videos and say that they like the funnier version of me better. This is probably the funnier version of me, and I tried to do this one MTV Cribs style. If you remember, in 2009 there was a show on MTV called Cribs where like they go through like hip hop houses, and so that's what this kind of theme or perspective that I'm doing this based on. I'll watch about 2 minutes of the tour of Chris's DC crib. Yo, MTV Cribs in the house. Another episode of Yellow Productions Cribs. We're going to be showing you around Chris's DC crib. We're going to start with the kitchen, but before you come in, make sure you wipe off your feet on the floor mat. Well, once again, welcome to my crib. Enough of that hip-hop style. We're going to go back to DC style. What's DC style? Suit and tie. All right. So let me show you around my crib. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,000 square feet. We'll start with the kitchen. This is the kitchen. Granite countertops.
It's got a sink. The sink even has running water. Modern world. That's pretty nice right here. It's got a stove. I use this to cook breakfast every day. That's the one meal I make sure to cook. Over here, let's take a look what's in the refrigerator. It's said you can tell a lot about a person by what's in their refrigerator. If you look at mine, mostly breakfast items. Orange juice, milk, apple juice, jam, maple syrup, eggs, and lots of water. And a cantaloupe. Cantaloupe. Next up, the living room. And if you've been to an IKEA showroom lately, you'll likely recognize a lot of this furniture. I've divided the room into two halves, the TV watching half, and then the desk half. So, starting with the TV watching half, you'll notice the IKEA sofa, the IKEA pillow, the IKEA coffee table, the television at Best Buy, not so much IKEA, on the IKEA stand, and something from Bed Bath & Beyond right here that I'm very proud of is my Table Mate 2 TV tray, because nothing says high class quite like a TV tray. Let's check out the desk side of the room. Every evil genius needs a place to sit and figure out his plan to conquer the world. And for me, this is my take over the world planning place. Behind my 30-inch monitor with my couple laptops. And if I get a phone call, it comes in on the secure hamburger phone. Hello? The plan? Execute? Alright, it's a go. Up next, bedroom number 1, or as I like to call it, the great...
So if you want to see the bedrooms where you're just going to have to go watch that video, it's Chris's DC Crib Tour. Drinky says, white couch, that's the most brave thing I've seen you do. Well, OC Girl loves white furniture, so that explains the white couch. Though, actually, I went out to DC first, so it was a little bit of a bachelor pad look, and then OC Girl joined me a bit later. Let's see. Amy says, Chris, you're so different here. You're so brave. Don't have the guts myself. And Kathy says you call yourself an introvert. In fact, I am an introvert. It's very easy to do that in my own room in front of a camera when nobody is there. And for most of you, that's probably the first time you've seen me in a suit and tie. Drew is trying to figure out where that apartment was. If you're familiar with the Arlington area, there's a Costco in, Crystal City? Pentagon City? That's the brick building that was right across from the Costco. And actually, if you watch that a little longer, you'll see I show the views off the balcony in the Costco parking lot. Sabrina says I should do an ASMR video. I should do an ASMR video, you know. How are you all today? I really don't understand ASMR videos. Can somebody explain to me why anybody watches ASMR videos? Okay, you know, if I do that, it gets too weird. But I feel like that's what ASMR videos are. Like, I tune into those things, and I'm just like, who watches this? I don't understand. And there'll be people right now, maybe they don't know what those are, and they're like, Chris, I have no idea what you're doing. But there are often people that are talking like that and scratching the microphone and talking very softly. It's a whole super weird genre. So I'm curious, for all of you who watch that video, do you like the funnier version of me better, or do you like the 2020 version of me better? All right, one of the next milestones in the Yellow Productions journey was when we decided to standardize how we rate hotels. So prior to 2016, all of the reviews of hotels, we just kind of like talk about it and say what we like. But then in 2016, we introduced the Topher rating scale. And the Topher rating scale, we rate hotels on a scale of 1 to 5 Tophers. In order to do that, we had to have a Topher effect. And you've probably seen the rotating Tophers. So I want to show you behind the scenes of how I made the rotating Topher effect. It's like a 20-second video. It's pretty short. But here's building the rotating Topher effect for the Topher rating scale. Yeah, so there we go. So to do that, I put Topher in front of a green screen. I got this thing that was like it like levitates. It uses magnets to levitate a puck, and then I put Topher on top of the levitating puck, and then I could spin Topher, and then I could cut Topher out of the background, and then I could put 5 Tophers together into the editing thing, or 3 Tophers, or whatever, so that we can have multiple Tophers all together. So in regards to which Chris people like better, Drinky Drink says, we love you no matter what style. Well, I appreciate it. Jackie says, I like both versions. Cy Ducky says, the house tour made me laugh. That's great to hear. Jacob says, I want to see you eat an In-N-Out burger like Andy Warhol. How does Andy Warhol eat In-N-Out burger? I'm not sure that I know that. Amy says the 2020 Chris, but Funny Guy Chris is awesome too. And Kathy likes the 2020 version better. Thanks. All right. I appreciate it. Okay. So now let's go on to milestone number 12. And so in my 100,000 subscriber video, which again, all these videos are on YouTube, so you can go and see them. Even that great Topher effect video, 700 people have watched the great rotating Topher effect video. More people have watched that 20-second clip of the rotating Topher than have watched my DC crib tour. But now probably more people watch the DC Crib Tour because now there's 234 of you on the live stream. In my 100,000 subscriber celebration, I showed off some of my pre-YouTube Dance Dance Revolution skills. I love the Dance Dance Revolution video game. A lot of people ask me, Chris, do you play video games? What video games do you like? I like video games, but I guess unfortunately picking YouTube as a hobby has consumed most of my free time, which includes any video game playing time that I thought I had. So about the only video game that I still play is Dance Dance Revolution. If you ask me what my favorite video game is, it's Dance Dance Revolution. Dance Dance Revolution is that silly dancing arcade game that you probably saw in arcades, popular in the mid-2000s. I would definitely challenge any of you to a dance-off in Dance Dance Revolution if we're ever in an arcade that has a DDR machine. This one is a video that I uploaded to YouTube in 2009 about me playing Dance Dance Revolution. It has 1,000 views, but my dad shot this video in 2004. And then for the second song, I played doubles, which is both pads. So we'll take a little bit of a break here for DDR time.
Second stage. Watching you dance.
Okay, now we'll watch a little bit of... So if you want to check that video out, wow, that's the wrong comment showing up there. That comment, Mwah, mwah, mwah. I like both versions. Okay, well, we'll come back to that one. Kay Clark says, that looks like a good workout. It sure is a good workout, which is why I like to play that video game. It's a fun game, and it is also a fantastic workout. MT says, impressive. Elizabeth Navy says, so cool. Big Italian Meatball says, where do you get to play DDR? Ever thought about getting one for your home? Now I go to Round 1 arcades, which is actually a Japanese chain of arcades that's opened locations in the U.S. All of the Round 1 locations have Dance Dance Revolution machines. Generally, so do Dave & Buster's. I have had the pads for the home, but they're just not very good. They're not as good as the arcade pads. They often break. They don't register the arrows, and so I gave those pads away. And Side Ducky says, and thus is how Chris won over OC Girl. I'm not sure that it was my amazing Dance Dance Revolution skills, but okay, let's just go ahead and say it was. Autumn Breeze says, I definitely wouldn't have a chance against you. You never know unless you try. Elliot says, hey Chris, since you're such a good dancer, did you dance to Gangnam Style for OC Girl at your wedding? We got married before Gangnam Style, and no, we actually had no first dance at our wedding. We did have a song that we sang together. OC Girl plays guitar, and I rapped. So, MP asks if I've done this over the past 5 years. I have played Dance Dance Revolution over the past 5 years. And actually, I did a shot on Japanese TV playing Dance Dance Revolution because I made a video in Round 1 arcades, showing off a Round 1 arcade in Santa Ana, California, which is near Disneyland. And in Japan, they were doing like a documentary on Round 1 arcades in the US, and the production company for that saw the video I made on the Santa Ana location and said, hey Chris, we'd love for you to essentially host this Japanese documentary on showing the Japanese people what Round 1 arcades from Japan look like when they open in America. And so I played Dance Dance Revolution on Japanese national television in that shot. But I want to show you something that I've not shown on YouTube before, which was a clip from that TV show that I did on Round 1 where they had me singing karaoke. First, they had me singing some Taylor Swift songs, but then I said, my favorite artist is Weird Al Yankovic, and so I wanted to sing a little bit of Amish Paradise. So here's me singing Weird Al's Amish Paradise at a Round 1 karaoke room.
As I walk through the valley where I harvest my grain, I take a look at my wife and realize she's very plain. But that's just perfect for an Amish like me. You know I shun fancy things like electricity. At 4:30 in the morning I'm milking cows. Jebediah feeds the chickens and Jacob plows. Fool, but you've been milking and plowing so long that even Ezekiel thinks that my mind is gone. I'm a man of the land, I'm into discipline. Got a Bible in my hand and a beard on my chin. But if I finish all of my chores and you finish thine, then tonight we're gonna party like it's 1699. We've been spending most of our lives.
Yeah, so I think the rap's pretty good. When it gets to the singing part, then not so much. I've never claimed to be a good singer. Elliot says, what did I rap or did I write it myself? I would say for the wedding, I wrote it myself, and I'll just, in this case, keep that one for the wedding guest. But Big Italian Meatball says for the next episode, we should see Dr. Dre featuring Snoop Dogg and Chris. Absolutely. Busta Rhymes for karaoke. I am all over that. Drew wants to know who's my favorite rapper. Let's go ahead and say Dr. Dre. How about that? I like Dr. Dre. All right. So I said that I wanted to share with all of you a video that I have never shown on YouTube before. That was one, but I want to show a travel video that I've never showed to you on YouTube. People often ask me, like, Chris, how long does it take to edit videos? Do you shoot more video than you edit? This was a video that I shot and I edited and just never uploaded it to YouTube. This was around, I think, 2010 that I went to Gothenburg, Sweden, which is like the big industrial city in Sweden. And so this is a travel guide in Gothenburg, Sweden. And then after this, I'm going to show you my first big show, Christopher's World, when I was 7 years old. Oh, that's too far. Gun. Come back. largest city with 5... Gothenburg is Sweden's second largest city with 500,000 people. One of Gothenburg's more popular attractions is the Maritime Museum, which has 16 different ships and 1 submarine, which is the most popular attraction because it sinks. Hello, from the submarine. Submarines were not built for fat men. You have to go out to that little tiny hole. I feel like a sardine coming out of a can.
Ocean of memories.
So I'm on a ferry to one of the islands of the southern archipelago of Gothenburg. This island has 2 cafes, 1 grocery store that closes at 2 every day, and it's called Skirso, but I'm gonna call it Sleepy Town. On the island, no cars are allowed, and the only allowable forms of transport are either 3-wheeled mopeds, golf carts, scooters, or bicycles. I have absolutely no idea where I am, which means I'm lost, which means I'm an explorer, which means noble. There you go, so that's the basis of exploring. And everybody said, Chris, that seems like a really mature 7 years old, because I said 7 is the next video that I'll show you. 7 is the next video after I showed you Gothenburg, Sweden. So that one, you all are the first people to ever see that video outside of me sitting in my editing room editing that video. Also, I heard a question about me wearing suits earlier. Do I wear that for work? Occasionally I do dress up for work, and so occasionally I do look like that when I go to work. Not an everyday thing, but, you know, special occasions that we might have. All right, the last milestone that I want to share with you, people say, Chris, did you always have this voice? Were you always like this? Did you always want to be on YouTube? Well, my dad was certainly a big influence on me as well. He was a wedding videographer, and so he had a lot of camera gear around the house, and he encouraged me when I was 7 years old to shoot a show called Christopher's World. So let's take a look at what I'm going to call the first... This is the first show that Chris Rainey was on before there was Yellow Productions. It was Christopher's World.
Hey, and welcome to Christopher's World. Yes, indeed, boys and girls, it's another evening when the world of Christopher. He talks to you straight from his home. Here we are. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Hi, everybody. It's another evening for Christopher's World. Where am I doing last? Oh, there they are. An April party day, right?
Yes, boys and girls, it was another evening with Christopher. Hope you enjoyed it. We know we enjoyed it. Welcome back to Bozo Land. A little commercial time here. And welcome once again to Christopher's World.
Abracadabra. And Big Italian Meatballs asked, was that my dad filming? That was indeed my dad filming, and I asked him for this video so that we could get it in this live stream today. So, Dad, thanks for delivering that. And then my dad had a little bit of a cameo in there, and that was obviously my dad's voice. The star on SJW says it looks like the 80s. It for sure was the 80s. And Wu Tai says that was definitely a television in that room. It was definitely a television in that room. So when people say, Chris, where did Yellow Productions get its start? Got that start in that living room right there in the 80s. Jim says we got to bring those shades back, the star shades. We probably have to bring those shades back. All right, well, what time is it?
Yes, it's the time you've been waiting for. It's time for the giveaway.
It's time for the giveaway, and in this question, so if you answer this question correctly, I will send you a Yellow Productions cruise shirt anywhere in the world. And the question is, in my video, that was my first video that made it big with 400,000 views, the video about cool vending machines in Tokyo, Japan, there was one scene in that video where I was with a lot of vending machines. What is the number of vending machines that I was really surprised about being in one place? If you're the first person to tell me what that number of vending machines is, then you will win the Yellow Productions cruise shirt shipped to you anywhere in the world. Jacob says you have an awesome dad. I do have an awesome dad. And David Jablonski is the first one to give that number. It is number 12. It was 12 vending machines all together. So congratulations, David. Also a correct answer from Windy City Elevators, but that came in after David's answer. And a lot of people who gave the answer of 12 correctly. But next time you need to be as fast as David.
And now we have a winner chicken dinner.
So David, send me an email to chris@yellow.net with, it's got 2 W's because that's what I use to register the domain name, or you can send me a message on Facebook. You will find a link in the description. If you want to know more about not just these videos, you didn't catch my live stream 2 days ago about what I've learned in the past 12 years, you can check that one out. My next live stream will be next week on Tuesday, 4:45 p.m. Los Angeles time. Special guest will be Chris from the Hello from Hawaii channel. We'll be talking all about what life is like in Hawaii. 2 weeks from now, roughly, this following Tuesday after that one, we're going to have special guests Tangerine Travels on the live stream, and they're going to be talking about their trip that they'll have just returned from Las Vegas, talking about is the new Las Vegas any fun? So that's what's coming up in the live stream world. This video today takes place of the recorded video that I would usually upload on Friday, so regular subscribers don't look for a video tomorrow. And before I conclude, I do want to thank you all for joining me on this journey. I know when I talked about some of these videos and these old videos, there were when I complained, I said nobody watched these things. There's a number of you that were like, I watched that video. I watched that video on the deer. I watched the videos on the snow monkeys. And I know there's even a few of you that watched that DC crib video too. And so thank you, all of you, from whenever you joined me, whether it was 12 years ago or whether it was just yesterday. I thank you all for watching. I thank you all for your support, and I hope you'll be with me for the next 100,000 and for the next milestone, whatever that celebration might be. I think the next big celebration will probably just be at 300,000 because I feel like 100,000 increments are pretty good. So that being said, I won't say goodbye because I'm going to see you all in the next video.